Dear GAGEpack users, one of the frequently asked question is about the calibration certificate, especially, for example, in this case, TG03001 depth gauge is one of the gauges. So when we double click and open this gauge, if you see here, the latest calibration entry was posted on 3/29/2023. So 29th of March 2023 is the latest calibration certificate. However, if a GAGEpack user tries to open one of the previous calibration entries, for example, this calibration entry was posted in 2015. So if the calibration of 2014 is open, and here on the top, if you see a preview, and if you click on preview and click on certificate, the expectation from the GAGEpack users is I should be able to see the certificate generated on 7/5/2014. So they click here. So when they click here, what they get to see is they get to see all the information of that particular calibration. So the observed values, everything will be of that particular calibration. However, the last calibration date and next due date, this information is appearing as per the latest calibration. So this is a discrepancy that people generally raise, stating that the calibration certificate is showing a wrong last calibrate, because for them, the last calibration date should be the date on which this calibration happened, which was 2014, right? However, the date is showing us that is 29 March 2023. So this is considered as a issue, or this is considered as a query, and we receive a lot of calls regarding this. So what we need to understand is GAGEpack basically operates with two databases. One database is what we call it as the gauge database. That means for every single gauge, there is a line item. And in that line item, you will have informations like the gauge type, gauge description. Similarly, what is the minimum value, maximum value, all this information will be there. And in that particular database, this information will also be available. Last calibration date and calibration due date. So this data will be available in the gauge database. However, there is one more database which is called event database. So in the event database, you will have a line item for every single event that is getting posted. For example, for this particular gauge, when you post a calibration entry, there will be a line item in the database. When you post a maintenance entry or R&R entry, there will be a line item. So the certification is designed in such a way that the last calibration date and next calibration date, which you see on the top here, is picked up from the main database, which is calibration, that is gauge database. So that is why it is always reflecting as per the information in the calibration scheme. So this is not a discrepancy. Maybe this is an understanding that we need to create. So if I want to really find out the actual certificate which got created, so what I can do is there is a certificate revision option. So what is certificate revision option? If you get into settings, in supervisory settings, in corporate settings, sorry, in audit settings, there's an option to generate revision of certificate. So once I generate revision of certificate, you see here, the date on which that calibration was completed, that information will be available here, that certificate. So this one, if you double click and open, it will show the exact date and time when that calibration happened. So if you see here, certificate is opening up, you see here, this will show the calibration date, next due date, as per the date on which this calibration happened. However, for the same gauge, if we open the preview of certificate, it will show a calibration date as per the latest calibration. So that is what we need to understand. So it's not a discrepancy. It is basically an understanding that we need to have. If you want to look at the exact certificate on the day when this calibration happened, you need to get into the admin tab, and inside the admin tab, you will have the date created, username, date and time. So this will be the exact certificate that got created on the date of calibration. However, if you open this certificate, it will take information from the calibration, that is, it will take information from the gauge database. So it will show you a date as per the date that is reflecting in this particular column inside the calibration column, right? So that's why people get confused. So very simple. If you want to look at the certificate exactly as per the date on which that calibration happened, please go to the admin tab. You will find the certificate here and you can double click and show the certificate to your auditors. I hope this video will be useful for you. If there are any further questions, you can always reach us in our tech support email address, pqtechdust@gmail.com. Thank you, friends.